Welcome to Live with Miami's Community News, South Florida's #1 source for local stories. I'm Michael Miller, bringing people together and sharing the voices, events, and connections that shape our community.
Cheers,
Cheers.
guys.
That'd be true.
I'm all in to be the Miami-Dade County mayor.
That event. Tell everybody about it. What's next? What do we have to do?
Thank you for joining us. I'm Michael Miller. Special guest today is Lauren Cohen with the Miami Film Festival. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So you're the director of programming. First of all, tell us about that. And second, tell us about the upcoming event right up here, which starts tomorrow, October 29th to November 5th. Tell us about yourself a little bit and then about the upcoming event.
Yeah, so Miami Film Festival Gems is our 12th edition. It starts tomorrow, October 29th through November 5th. It's our biggest edition yet. Last year we had 28 films, I believe it was, and now we have 42 films. So it's getting bigger and bigger every single year. And it's our heavily curated mini fall festival, the best films of the fall season. So these are the films that you're going to see nominated for Best Picture come the Academy Awards in March. And we have an incredible selection, 42 films from over 25 countries. It's going to be incredible.
So when people go, and do they get an opportunity to watch some of these? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have 42 films in the lineup, and you just decide every single day. We want you to see as many films as possible. You can pick which ones that speak to you the most. We have films all over the city, from Miami Beach to Coral Gables, downtown Miami, and a lot of people just pick a spot and they spend the day at the cinema with us.
It's wonderful. Before we get on to the next thing, Emily, would you put the camera on yourself and say hi, and then spin it around the room? We have two other people. That's Emily there. And there we go with our eye in the sky. And who is this over here?
She's with our amazing publicist, Pinzer Communications.
Thanks for being here. And then we have Priscilla over there, does social media. Stars in the making right here.
Yes, stars in the making.
By the way, Emily has her own show called Everything with Emily, and
cool.
recent graduate of FIU. And then Priscilla graduates next month? And in a month and a little bit. So good for her. For doing that.
Congratulations.
All right, so when you invite people to go and spend the day at the cinema, is that like 3 hours, 4 hours?
See, for me, like I travel to film festivals all over the world to look for the films to bring to Miami. That's what my job is. So when I go to film festivals, I sometimes see 6 movies a day. But I don't expect that of anyone else, of normal people. So I'd say you could spend anything from a 2-hour movie, one movie, to seeing 2 or 3 movies, which might be 4 or 5 or 6 hours, whatever you're comfortable with.
So when people are creating films, do they start with the intention, hey, this could be a really good film? We might win some awards. Is that something that they plan in advance, or does it sort of creep up upon them as they're making it?
I think a lot of people set out with that intention. It depends. You have some films like in this lineup, we have some, true masters of cinema like Guillermo del Toro, who just made a new adaptation of Frankenstein. I think when they make something, a movie with a master like Guillermo del Toro, adapting something like Frankenstein with this big cast that involves Oscar Isaac, who's actually from Miami, Jacob Elordi, I think they know they have a pretty good shot at making it to the Oscars. For smaller films, I think that kind of creeps up upon it when they get that real buzz when they go to film festivals. I think they kind of realize they have something special. So it's a little bit of a
It must be quite the awareness, self-fulfilling. It's like, oh my goodness, look at this. People really like this.
Yeah, and then a lot of time, have movies like, last year's Anora, which won Best Picture. You have movies that I think no one really necessarily realizes that's the kind of movie they have, and then they see the reaction at film festivals, and they realize like, oh, actually, we could take this all the way. And a lot of the time, they run with it. They start showing it at Telluride, at Cannes, at Venice, and they just go to all the biggies. And
so frequent people sometimes have a hard time understanding. You could have a great film, right? But if nobody sees it and you're not promoting it, then it's as if it doesn't even exist.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one heard it.
and we recognize that in marketing. People could have a great website, but if people aren't going to it, that it doesn't work. So it's not just so they make a great film. What do they have to do to make sure they get the exposure that they need to gather the liking and the votes, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the film industry has changed so much in an age of streaming that, film festivals are more important than ever because we are really one of the big stops on the marketing food chain, in my opinion, to getting the awareness for these films. Movie theaters, I'm a big movie theater person. I believe that cinema is best experienced in a theater in a communal setting, but because so many people have viewed it as more standard to watch things on streaming, on Netflix at home, I think that it's more important than ever that film festivals are drawing that attention to say, come with us for 10 days. And for these 10 days, you are going to be watching things on the big screen. And we find that people really do love it when they
There is something about this communal watching.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going to see a comedian all by yourself. You're not going to laugh.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
if there's 400 people, right, and we know how those jokes just roll over to the next one. So there is that great feeling when the music is playing and you hear somebody crying in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Or, they're whispering to each other.
You feed on their energy, and
yes.
then not to mention just seeing a movie. Imagine if Titanic came out on streaming. It wouldn't have been the same thing. It was about seeing it with this incredible cinematography on the big screen, the sound, watching it, everyone's crying next to you, screaming. I think that's what the movies are for. And then, I think film festivals take it an even step further because, we create this environment where we're there to have a dialogue about the film. I know that for our Miami Film Society members, everyone loves coming up to me afterwards to talk about the films, even when it's not their favorite film. We kind of debate back and forth on what they liked, what they didn't like. A lot of the times we bring special guests to be there for Q&A so you can see, some of the biggest stars, some of the most accomplished and talented actors or directors come to actually talk about the film. And that's like a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
So just want to make it, this is a Miami-Dade College product.
Yes.
And I think that's important. At least a couple of people in the room here, I think I went to Miami-Dade, right? By the way, one of the best speakers we've ever had is the current president, Madeline Pumariega.
She's incredible.
When she spoke, she talked to so many people that there was spontaneous applause through her conversation. Usually people applaud at the end.
Right. Oh, no.
This was all the way through.
I have no doubt.
That day, people called me. This is mostly women called me. They said, Michael, she was talking about me. Divorce. I got 2 kids. My mother was a housekeeper. My father was disabled on all the food stamps and everything. She was talking to me. And she said, the president said, you can come to Miami-Dade. You can get a certificate if you want that, or you can be on your way to MIT. You can walk out of here with no debt, all right? This is your key, your pathway. And she was so inspirational. Every time I think about how she spoke to the people, it just brings tears to my eyes to think of what the impact that the college and the professors have made.
No, absolutely.
On people.
She connects with people. And, we just actually had, she hosted her Women Who Lead luncheon for Miami-Dade College. And we had special guest Lucy Liu come. And it was it was so incredible to see President Pumariega in conversation with Lucy Liu about female empowerment and inspiring the next generation and female leaders. And she's just such an incredible speaker. And she really connects with people. She's just the perfect face of Miami.
We're going to be inviting her back. She doesn't know that yet, but we're going to be inviting her back.
I'm sure she'll love that.
So tell us again how these films wind up getting nominated. What's that process?
The process is really they go on the film festival circuit, and depending on how good they are, some get picked up to be at a lot of the major film festivals, like Cannes or Venice or Telluride or the New York Film Festival, and that visibility and that buzz means that they're being reviewed by Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, all the big trades and all the big Oscar pundits start predicting them, and I think it's sort of a positive cycle that, the more you get talked about, the more you get that buzz and the more you get in front of Academy voters, who are the people who are really the decision makers. I'm
into different types of animals, but when we watch on dogs, if you're showing your dog, you got to go to all the shows.
Yes.
So there's that conversation.
Exactly.
If you're into cattle and horses, you have to go.
You got to go to the major stops, right?
And so people start talking about that.
Yeah, and one thing I'm super proud of, I've been at the film festival for 12 years now, and I've been here since the very first inception of GEMS, our mini fall festival that we're here promoting. And over the years, GEMS has become like a major stop on the award season trail. It's the kind of thing now that I have a lot of the distributors calling me, really wanting their films to get in, because when you see a lineup of 42 films that you say these are Oscar contenders, a lot of the studios want their films in this lineup because it is such a good predictor of what's going to get nominated further down the line.
And we know Miami has been making the headlines now for, 15 or 20 years. And I think it's it's blooming all the time now.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so important to Miami and Miami-Dade College that these events are important?
I know to Miami-Dade College, I think they are such a big champion of the arts. And, for the Cultural Affairs Department, we have Miami Film Festival. We now have Miami Film Festival Gems. We have the Miami Book Fair, which is happening in November. And I think that we're just doing such an incredible job nurturing the next generation of artists and bringing incredible artists and speakers and writers and filmmakers here to have conversations both with students and with, the Miami art-loving public.
And when is Art Basel?
Art Basel's in December.
In December.
Mhm.
So we've got a lot of stuff that's happening.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's Miami. I think I grew up in Miami Beach. I've lived here my entire life. So, that's always been a part of my life. And I can't imagine living anywhere else.
And we have the Coconut Grove Art Festival.
Yes, I love the Coconut
And
Grove
I
Art
think
Festival.
we have the boat show coming up.
Mhm.
Lots of stuff happening in the next 6 months.
Food and Wine Festival. We have everything in Miami.
So tell us how you got involved.
So as I said, I grew up in Miami Beach. I've lived in South Florida my entire life, and I went to college at University of Miami in their School of Communications, studying motion pictures. And I went to film school, not knowing I wanted to work in film. I've been passionate about film since I was very little, but not knowing exactly what I was going to do. And through film school, I decided I was really interested in curation and film festivals and film programming. So I got the first job that was available at the Miami Film Festival doing promotions and a little bit more of the marketing side of things. And eventually just stuck with it until I started doing programming.
Have you been on the other side?
On the other side of filmmaking?
Yes.
Yeah, in film school, I would make student films. I was very into film editing more than I was directing. And that for a while, I thought I wanted to be a trailer editor. Because I was really fascinated. I think there's nothing like a good trailer. I think there's nothing like a good trailer that makes all of us really, really, really want to see a movie. So I was really interested in that for a while. But then, I think I started to realize that curation and programming was more the right fit for me.
So what does the next 5 years look like for the show?
For Miami Film Festival, honestly, I think it's just getting bigger. So I think I said we went from, I think it was 28 or 30 films to 42 films. I hope next year we have 50-something films. We have 8 special guests who will be joining us in person. I hope it's 10 or 12 next year.
And these movies are put on where?
All over the city. So we have films at Coral Gables Art Cinema. We have films at Silver Spot Cinemas in downtown Miami. We have films at O Cinema in Miami Beach. So you can really, the Kubik Center near Little Havana.
So if you're going to each or to a lot of these, you're going to run into some of the same people at each of them.
Absolutely.
Is there a connection after the second or third one? Do people start talking a little bit more than the first one?
Totally. I'll see people kind of talking to the people next to them in their seats about the films afterwards. A lot of them are members of Miami Film Festival Society, so they all already know each other and see each other. We have not only do we have Miami Film Festival Gems, which is happening this week, but we have the main edition of Miami Film Festival in April, which lasts 10 days, and we have year-round programming. So if you're a Miami Film Festival Society member, you get invites to advanced early exclusive screenings every single month, sometimes
and how
multiple
can somebody
ones.
become a member?
Go on MiamiFilmFestival.com. We have a bunch of different membership levels, and it's great. You get invites every couple weeks. Every month you'll have new films to see, and they're always really great.
Maybe we could, if Emily has time, maybe you can put up that address again. What is it?
MiamiFilmFestival.com.
Gee, what
Easy.
a great name. Way to go with that. So Miami over the years is certainly changed a lot. In the 80s, we were known as one of the drug capitals of the world. We went through that phase, and now we have companies from all over the world that are moving here.
Yeah.
Lots of very wealthy people have moved to South Florida, particularly in Miami, and have donated a lot of money to schools and to hospitals and to the arts. What's the plan with the Miami Film Festival to try to keep and get those new people that are moving to Miami to get more involved?
I mean, I think we always want people to be more involved. I think that the more, I always tell people just come to the film festival once and you'll fall in love with it. I think that, in my opinion, I go to some film festivals all over the world. I do think we are one of the strongest regional festivals out there. There's just so much to experience. So I think that a lot of people, who are moving here maybe haven't been before, but if they come to GEMS, that's the best gateway into the festival because you'll be seeing some really great stuff.
So you're going to go, and you've seen all of these films?
Yes.
All right. More than once?
Yes, a lot of them more than once, actually.
Do you ever write about that?
Yeah, so I actually used to do a lot more film criticism back before I worked at the film festival. I wrote for the Miami Hurricane back when I was at University of Miami. But I'll often, we sometimes have blog posts that we do. I'll sometimes, write program notes for the films to kind of explain to the audience. They can go on our website and click on each individual film page to learn about why we programmed it. I love talking about them.
So when you have when you go to the movies, it's people that are there exclusively to see that particular show.
Talking about our screenings?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
So is there somebody, a presenter up front? Thank you very much for being here.
That's usually me.
Is that you?
Yeah. So usually I do that, and I do my best to really try and do what I can to position the film for everyone before seeing it. Sometimes that's giving a little bit of backstory about, how or why the film got made, or the filmmaker, or what I connected with when I saw the film. And, I always tell people, like, I want you to come afterwards and talk to me about the film. Even if you love it, please tell me. If you didn't, I just love talking about cinema. And that's what film festivals are for.
When we watch some of those shows, X Factor and the other ones, so often people are asked, what's your story?
Yeah.
And when the actor, singer, whatever is up there and they tell that story, it's a little bit more involved. Actually, it's a lot more involved.
Absolutely.
Because it's that story that makes that song much more important to the actor or the singer and to the audience. And it's always some sad, happy story that's there. And so a little explanation, you're saying, makes a big difference to the audience.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's part of why it's so important to me to bring, filmmakers and talent here to the festival. One person I'm so excited to be having joining us this week is actor Ethan Hawke, who to me is not only one of the best actors out there. If you ever listen to him talk about film, he is one of the most eloquent, interesting speakers. Like, he really lives and breathes film and loves the arts with all his heart. And you can really tell that when he speaks. He's not just there, he's not looking for a big Hollywood paycheck. He cares about filmmaking. And so he's coming to receive an award courtesy of Variety. We have a very big in-depth discussion happening with him that I've been trying to get him for God knows how many years. So we're so excited.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. So what do the moviegoers expect from the shows?
I think at the very least they expect a good movie, but I think they come for good movie to have that dialogue of conversation about the films. And I think a lot of the time to see some of the actors there, we have, we always are looking for the local connection whenever possible. Film is getting bigger and bigger in Miami, not just the film festival, but having more local Miami filmmakers. So we're really excited to have local filmmaker Billy Corbin's new film, Canceled, the Paula Deen Story. So Billy will be here to talk about the film. He's been making movies in Miami for so long. And so I think people come for those types of conversations and events.
He's very challenging. I watch him and
Yes.
I see some of the work that he's done. The guy's got guts, man.
Oh, absolutely.
And
no
it's
one's
like,
got guts like Billy.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Be able to see that. There's a radio commercial. It's a jewelry store, and they say, "Come pick out your spouse's engagement ring or your wedding ring, and we will tell you the story of the diamond." And they tell the story of how that diamond came from Africa and how it's supporting the people that are doing it versus lab grown. Right? They don't say that, but that's
right, that's
what
really
it is.
what that's about.
And so it was a story, not just as beautiful, but there's a story behind it. So when we as showgoers watch that, the more we know about that, the easier it is to get into that. So out of all these, there've been some favorites of yours.
Yes.
Can you tell us some of your favorites?
Absolutely. I mean, so tomorrow we're opening up with No Other Choice, which is from legendary director Park Chan-wook. He's an extremely famous Korean director who's made movies like Old Boy and The Handmaiden and Stoker. And this movie is very similar to thematically to Parasite, which won Best Picture a few years ago, which is about a man who loses his job at his paper company. So he sets out to kill off all the other potential applicants for the next best job for that position because he's struggling to get a job. And it's very, while it's really darkly comedic, it is really focused on important themes about job insecurity and themes that a lot of people can relate to. So that's one film that I really, really love. We're closing with Wake Up Dead Man, which is the third film in the Knives Out franchise, which stars Daniel Craig as Detective Benoit Blanc. It's a really funny murder mystery with an incredible all-star cast, including Glenn Close and Mila Kunis and Andrew Scott. So those are two that are real highlights to me.
And we know the timing has a lot to do with so many things because there's things that could be occurring. But when I go to pick out to watch some movies, if it's more than a year old, I wonder, why am I watching this? What am I missing out on?
You want something new.
Right. We want something new, right?
Yeah.
And what is it in our psyche that would take this movie that was probably a great movie, all right, but it's 5 years old, and we look at it differently.
Yeah, I mean, I think art changes every time I see it. I had movies that I saw once that I didn't like, and then I saw it 5 years later and I loved it. So I think everything is shape shifting. But there's so many movies coming out, and there's so much product that it's easy to want to feel up to date and to see the new stuff. Another movie we have that I love is a movie called Jay Kelly, which stars George Clooney as a disillusioned movie star who's kind of going through a spiritual crisis and a midlife crisis, and it also co-stars.
It's not an autobiography.
It feels very. It's not. But it's certainly, you could tell where he can draw from inspiration from. Of course, is one of the biggest Hollywood stars out there, and it co-stars Adam Sandler and Laura Dern and Billy Crudup, and that's just a really, really poignant, beautiful film that I really love.
You love doing this, don't you?
I do. I love it so much.
Your family must go, look at her, man. So other than watching movies and getting other people to watch them, what are the things that you like to do?
I mean, movies really are what I like to do outside of work and during work. So I'm definitely in the right job. But I mean, I love to read. I love the arts. I'm a big Broadway person. So it's usually always stuff in the arts for me.
You seem very fulfilled.
Very fulfilled. Yes. I mean, I get to do what I love every single day. What
That's
more
wonderful.
can you ask for?
And how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for 12 years.
You were started when you were in college, no?
Yeah, right when I graduated. This was my first job after I graduated. So
You were at University of Miami?
Yep, right after University of Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
You?
Yeah, there you go. And you have the colors, folks. You saw it right here.
Yes, my nails.
Tell us about that.
These are my Taylor Swift nails.
All right, we got that, folks. Do it one more time. We want to make sure we got. There you go.
Yes, I was very excited for the new album, so I had to have the nails to match.
Where does your enthusiasm come from?
Honestly, I'm excited about everything. I think that for me, I'm excited for, if a new movie that I want to see is coming out, that is the most exciting thing in the world for me. And so I just want other people to feel the same way, because if you can get other people excited about something that they'll like, that you're going to get them to have an amazing night that night.
Do you have some compatriots that are right alongside you? They go, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they get to go for free?
No, they still have to pay.
They still have to pay.
But
right?
they're excited they're able to get a ticket. That's
Yes.
sometimes a good thing. I mean, but I also I think that, we talked a little bit about what gets people excited. And one thing I try to do a lot of is also bring nostalgia into it a little bit, because, we all are excited about new movies, but sometimes I feel like doing fun things with throwbacks with old films is also very fulfilling for people. So we have a 30th anniversary screening of the movie Clueless, which is a very iconic high school movie starring Alicia Silverstone. And we're bringing the film's costume designer here to talk about the costumes from Clueless, which were very, very iconic when the movie came out and still are iconic to this day. So that's another fun thing we're doing at GEMS this year, and that we want to do more of.
We had some of the folks from South Dade Cultural Center here about a year or so ago,
Yeah.
and we talked about job opportunities. And so somebody that may want to be around movie making, they can be an actor, they could be a wardrobe person, they could be a cleanup person, they
Yeah.
could be a ticket getter. So people can get around that and get that in the environment.
Yeah.
And so lots of times that's a ladder for people. How did you wind up getting this position?
Honestly, when I started working for the film festival, I was like, I want to work for Miami Film Festival with whatever job they'll have me in. So there was a very small position for promotions coordinator, which was a seasonal contractor position that was essentially to help, find the audiences for the film. It was a little more niche than marketing. It was like, if we have an Indian film, let's see if we can find the community, the Indian community who would be interested in this, or people who like Bollywood to see this film. And so it was me going to a Bollywood dance class and making flyers and dropping them off for that film, and really trying to find those niche.
Can you dance
groups.
like that?
I wish I could, but that's actually, you asked me my hobbies. I love dancing and I love taking dance classes, and I've had that on my list. So
Does our friend who's sitting over here, does she do any of this?
no, but maybe she'll do it with me.
Coming up.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But So that's where I started. And our previous executive director and director of programming, Jay LaPlante, he could tell he was a real mentor to me, and he could tell that film specifically was my passion, and programming was really my dream. And so, he gave me a shot a few years into working and made me a programmer. And then, that expanded, and he made me his co-director of programming, because we just really got on and, felt really in sync when it came to talking about film. And then it went from there.
So who are some of your counterparts across the country?
You mean other people who do similar jobs?
Yes.
You have Terry Fremont, I think is his name, at the Cannes Film Festival, which is like the biggest there is, pretty much. And he's one of the biggest. But we just had Robert Redford, who's the creator of the Sundance Film Festival, who sadly just passed away. But it's a very interesting niche job.
So what's it like for you? You're
Mhm.
pretty accomplished, to be able to be in the company and having conversation with similarly accomplished people.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I find myself very lucky that I'm able to do Q&As and interviews with some of my heroes. As I mentioned, it's a running joke in our office. Every single year since I've had this job, I've invited Ethan Hawke to come to the festival, because I really just wanted that opportunity to interview him and have a dialogue with him about film. So getting the chance to do that with some of our heroes in the filmmaking world is really unmatched.
So how long did it take you to get him?
I have been inviting him for 5 years straight, maybe more, maybe 6 years. So it's taken a while, but I truly believe that everything happens when it's supposed to. And he is so good in this movie, Blue Moon. I'm saying it here. I think he's going to get a Best Actor nomination at the Academy Awards this year. So I think it happened when it was right.
So what's your lesson to somebody who's frustrated because they invited somebody one time and they
Oh.
said no? What do you want to tell them?
You got to be aggressive. I mean, the reason I got to your question about why I got this job in the first place, the reason, Jay thought I might be good at programming was because if someone didn't answer my email when I asked them to promote a movie for us, I had a joke in the office. I'd say, I may not get a yes, but I'll get an answer. So I would just call and call and call, show up, email, like I'm kind of ruthless in that
So
way.
how did you wind up here? People want to know. How did you wind up sitting here?
Sitting here right now?
Yes.
I mean, I got the opportunity, and I was.
Now, how did that happen?
You mean, how did you get into this position?
Yeah, how did you wind up calling us or emailing us and somebody said yes to you?
I had a publicist who was very who would do that.
And so that's the way it works. That
Yeah.
You got to work it. You got to have somebody.
You have to have
assisting.
call in. You have to have somebody that's calling every single day to try and get any opportunities. And so, for me, getting a no from an actor it means very little, because it's a no right now. It's not a no forever. So I have a list of my wish list of people that I want to come to Miami Film Festival, and everyone in the office is aware of who's on that list, and it changes every year and grows and
Would you
expands.
like to share some of those names?
Oh my God, so many names. I mean, I mentioned Jacob Elordi. He's playing the creature in Frankenstein. He's been on the list for a while. Director Guillermo del Toro, who's just an incredible director. He's certainly on that list. The list is longer than you can imagine. Adam Sandler.
What kind of grades did you make over there?
At the University of Miami?
Yes.
Pretty good grades.
Yeah.
I mean, it was in the area that I, was passionate about. So I loved college and film school because, again, I never had that period of time where I didn't know what I was interested in or what I wanted to do, which is something I'm grateful for. So
When did you first become aware of that?
8 years old.
You just knew.
When I saw Titanic, which I think I referenced once on this.
She
on
was
this
8
show
when
already,
Titanic
so-
came out. Oh my God.
I already referenced Titanic once, so that should have been your. And I saw that, and I said, "There's nothing like movies like that. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to involve that."
Sometimes we have that epiphany.
Yeah.
You were very lucky that happened.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's funny because I still think Titanic is one of the best movies ever made. That never changed. I think that was a perfect movie, and that movie just awoke my brain, and it stayed on the same
wonderful.
wavelength. Yeah.
So the festival is fortunate to have you. You're enthusiastic.
Thank
You're
you.
brilliant. All right. And you do a wonderful job in representing the arts. And so our hats off to you and to the organization. Continued success to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Lauren
it.
Cohen. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Let's look right in this camera over here. My brother Grant and I, thank you for joining us. And we want to let you know that we subscribe to the Disney rule, which is when you hug someone, don't stop until they do. Have a great day. Bye.